Hi, my name is William Michael Forbes,
Hi, I'm Norma Jones.
and well, I did my first channeling video of Metatron and posted it. I want to thank everybody for watching it, and they've instructed me, and by they I mean these other beings that are around us, as well as Metatron and Archangel Michael and different non-physical beings that are actually here to lend their knowledge and wisdom to all of us to help inspire and empower, uplift humanity at this time of ascension. And ascension is a process that we're all in right now. It's a shift in consciousness that's affecting the whole human consciousness, affecting the whole planet, and in fact, affecting the whole solar system. And the format we're going to use, I'll let you describe that.
Well, so this has been a relatively new thing, and so I started asking questions of William, and then I thought that this is a little bit selfish of me because maybe other people want to hear the answers to my questions, and also maybe this will inspire you if you have any questions yourself, that you can just put it down in the comments below, and then we can get to them maybe at a later date. So this is a new format for us, and we're just looking to not make it very long, maybe kitty cat here, to maybe make it 15 minutes, and we'll do like 15-minute little segments of various questions that we're asking, and we'll see who comes through.
Yeah. And again, I don't know who's going to come through. It just happens. There is a feeling of information that I allow to flow through whenever I'm asked questions. Like she's mentioned, this is fairly new to us, this question and answer thing, but it's the answers we've been getting, information that's been coming through, is actually quite striking and startling. And we hope that you find it as uplifting and inspiring as we have been finding. And it's there under their suggestion that we've been driven to do this, to share this information with you, to share this information with humanity at this wonderful time.
Okay, so with no further ado, I'll put on my glasses. Hey, kitty cat. Kitty's all excited, I guess.
Yeah, we found that when we're doing these Q&As, the animals seem to like to come around us. So don't mind if a kitty cat strays in here. We've got 3 of them here, and a little puppy dog, which she seems to be pretty sad about. These guys love to move in and out of the energy, and they tell me the reason the animals love that is they feel the love of the vibration, because the frequency that these other beings operate on is very high. It's not ego-based. It's not based in me. It's based in sharing with life, giving to life, and animals respond to that very, very well.
Okay.
Without further ado.
Yes. So my first question to you, or to whomever comes through, is what does it mean to awaken? Being that we talk a lot about awakening, what exactly does that mean, to awaken?
Yeah, I've this thing going on my throat right now, which usually means who's this coming through. This might sound strange. The awakening process is twofold. It is the conscious and deliberate separation of yourself from who you've been conditioned to think you're supposed to be, and the simultaneous unity of humanity in consciousness, time and space, where humanity awakens to their divine connection, where we operate as a whole from source, while still maintaining our individual expressions, because each individual body is different, but the overall source is unified. So you can have many different people, but they can all still function in harmony with each other and still have individual expressions. So the awakening is the conscious and deliberate process of everybody coming together as individuals in a unified field of consciousness.
So when you say conscious, you're meaning that we are aware of our thoughts and the impact that they have on each other as well as the world?
This is a very good question, because most of the thoughts that people have aren't even their own, and those thoughts are usually based on what we remember and not what we are. If everybody knew what they are right now, then humanity would be in a very different place. So being able to let go of the thoughts that you think are you, if you stop to examine your thoughts, you will find that your thoughts are something you can examine. And by the very nature of examining your thoughts, you are not your thoughts, you're the examiner. And it is that you that is the examiner of thoughts that puts you into a position where you can begin to release thought, transcend thought, and create thought, or inject thought into your life, because thought is creative. Thought affects form. Thought affects time and space as we know it through these bodies.
So, twofold question. What is the impact of our thoughts, and has that increased as they're talking that everything is moving more quickly? Is it more important now that we guard our thoughts?
It's not so much about guarding thoughts as it is about identifying thoughts that are beneficial and identifying thoughts that are detrimental. Releasing the thoughts that are detrimental and holding on to thoughts that are beneficial and creating new thoughts that are even more beneficial.
Okay. So, back to the point of being awake and aware, do we as a species become awake at times and then go back to sleep? And is that the right term? Like, can we be awake partial in part of our day and then not at another part? Do we go back and forth? Do we fluctuate?
Well, in all reality, we fluctuate in and out of that state all the time. We are sometimes in a body, sometimes we're not in a body. Sometimes we're in our thoughts, sometimes we're not in our thoughts. Most people aren't aware of that process. It just happens so fast. It happens very, very quickly. But the minute you start to expand your awareness to become aware of, am I in the present moment? Am I the body? Am I the thinker? Am I the thoughts? When you start to become consciously aware of that, you start to create a different energy, a different awareness. Humanity as a whole has cycled in and out of that for millions of years. The conscious thinking, the unconscious thinking, the conscious thinking, the unconscious thinking, like a cycle. And what's happened, that up and that down, the conscious and unconscious, which has caused societies to rise and societies to collapse. The consciousness brings a society up, the unconsciousness collapses a society. We're at a point in consciousness as a whole in humanity from many millennia, many millions of years of experience through time, space, and matter, where we are making a choice. Whether or not we want to continue this cycle of up and down, or we want to break through that cycle and go to a whole new paradigm of consciousness. And that's what they're called, what people are calling today the ascension process. It's where you transcend this polarity. It doesn't mean you stop being. It doesn't mean matter doesn't exist, but it means that you're no longer bound by those cycles of up and down. You now have a creative intelligence that you already have, but it's no longer bound by time, space, and matter. You're no longer bound by time, space, and matter, and therefore you can create outside of what you think you know and what you remember knowing, so that you can create from the now, which is a place of love. The eternal now is a place of love. And the ascension process is about getting to that now.
So, is it at all, this is just my own mind thinking, that when we're unconscious, we're in our ego? When we're awake and aware, we're coming from our heart, being conscious? Does that make sense?
The minute you identify with a certain idea or a certain thought, you become focused on that and you lose awareness. By that we mean awareness compresses down from one state to another. So if you're thinking about what a beautiful day this is, your awareness goes a certain way. It expands to encompass the day. If you think about, oh, what do I have to eat right now? Your awareness moves from that expanded state of the day to that, what I need to eat. And everyone is constantly expanding and contracting their awareness. The idea is that we get out of that cycle so that your awareness stays in an open, expanded state, a state of knowingness, a state of connectedness, so that the different energies and people and beings around you work dynamically together, much like a flock of birds work dynamically when they're flying. If you've ever watched billions of birds flying together, billions, and we've had billions flying together, and they function in harmony. They don't seem to bang into each other. It's a beautiful thing to watch. If you ever watch those birds in the sky, millions of them flying together. Humans are meant to work like that, as a unified whole, where there is a movement, but it's an expanded, encompassing consciousness that embraces all things and all people.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else to say on that subject?
Do you have anything else to say on that? I've got somebody trying to push in here on my left side, kind of pushing him behind, saying, there's something else you got to look at here. They want you to ask the question again.
Which question?
The last question.
Is there something else that you would like to say?
The question before that question.
Oh, the question before that question was whether when we're unconscious, we're either coming from our ego, and when we're conscious, we're coming from our heart place, or we're awake. If we're awake, we're coming from our heart, connected with source. When we're asleep, we're coming from our ego. Those are terms I'm creating. I don't know if it's true.
The thing you're speaking of is the difference between being awake and asleep. Ego is asleep. If you are in your thoughts about what you think you have to do today, you are in your ego about what you think you have to do today. If you are outside of that, if you are aware that that's not who you are, then you are more heart-centered. More heart-centered being that you're not in a set way of having to be, but a dynamic way of being. And I think they're giving you the exact same answer in just different words.
Okay, so what does it mean? Like, we need our ego in order to function throughout the day. So how do we manage throughout the day without being in our ego if we wish to be awake?
That's a very good question. The answer is simple. People think they need their ego because they don't know of themselves as anything else. If you do not know that you're not this body, if you do not know that you're not this mind, these thoughts that are in your head, then you cannot know thyself, to know who you truly are. And who you truly are does not require the body or mind to exist, but we utilize bodies and minds in time and space in order to have the illusion of existence, but we're not the form, you're not the thoughts. The minute you know that, you can creatively manifest and manufacture experience. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
An ego can't manufacture experience, it can only repeat experience. It can only repeat what it has before. Your ego can only repeat the same patterns over and over and over again. It cannot create something new. Only your soul can do that. And your soul is what you call a heart self, the spiritual being, the one that's connected to the one. And that level of source consciousness is not bound by ego.
So why is it that we get trapped in the ego? Why is it that we get trapped in the repetitiveness of our previous days instead of being connected more directly with source? If what we are is source, then why are we trapped in what's not real, the ego?
Because that is where you're putting your attention. And wherever you put your attention, that's what your experience will be. So even if your attention's on the experience of, oh, I hope I don't have a bad day because of what happened last night, then even though something happened last night that has nothing to do with today, your very thought about what happened last night might give you a bad day. You'll create a bad day because your awareness goes to wherever that focus is.
Right. So if we are yes, okay. So we continue to go around and around in the ego.
That's correct. Until we can step out of it.
And so what sort of things can we do to step out of it?
Meditation is the first word that comes to mind. Meditation, breath, being mindful in the present.
Okay.
But I think this is all for today.
Okay.
The format that you required was for 15 minutes, so we'll make that all for today.
Awesome.
If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel. And we welcome any comments, good, bad, or indifferent. We welcome them all because it's your gift to share your knowledge and experience with us as it is ours to share what we're learning with you.
Awesome.
This whole channeling thing is pretty new to us, and but we're going to bring more and more of this to you as we get more and more about developed in our lives too. So thank you for your day.
And again, yeah, we do encourage comments and questions, and hopefully we could use them next time. Very good.
Thank you very much.
Bye for now.
Have a wonderful day.